Who could be starting at center for the Lions on Monday night? We got the latest for you on a Friday edition.
You are Locked On Lions, your daily Detroit Lions podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's good, everybody? Matt Derry with you. It's a Friday episode, Locked On Lions, right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. It's Friday, October 27th, into the weekend, Saturday, October the 28th. Thanks for checking us out wherever you get your podcasts, making us your first listen, and, of course, watching and subscribing on our Locked On Lions YouTube channel. Thanks to our everydayers who are out there watching us and listening each and every day. We appreciate you. How about this weather today? It's like sunny and 72. Tomorrow it's supposed to be 40. So we're all going to get sick next week. But Monday Night Football coming up. Lions and Raiders. Kind of a weird weekend for some with no Michigan game and no Lions game on Sunday. Of course, the Lions will host the Raiders at 8:15 on Monday Night Football. ESPN, Channel 7 locally here. And an opportunity for the Lions to bounce back. And we'll get into that coming up momentarily here on Locked On Lions. Coming up on the show today, by the way, Ben Johnson spoke today about Jameson Williams, and I'm not going to sit here and overdo it and go crazy and say this was bad and that was bad, but I got to bring up something that Johnson said about the wide receiver. We'll do that coming up next. Also today, I got to tell you about some billboards that are up. Yes, Locked On Lions billboards are out there. Lions schedule, keys to the game. Chauncey Gardner Johnson's changing his name apparently. All of that today right here on a Friday edition of Locked On Lions. This episode brought to you by PrizePicks, the easiest, most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnNFL and use code all lowercase LockedOnNFL for a first deposit match up to $100. All right, where do we start today? As far as the injury report goes, let me fix this here. Frank Ragnow has not practiced all week. He's been bothered by this toe injury all year. He had surgery, remember, in the offseason, and it's never really going to be 100% apparently. But he's also got a calf injury and has not practiced all week. Now, again, Lions have an extra day. Don't have to play until Monday night. So that's a full day plus 7 hours to get Frank Ragnow ready. Hopefully he will be able to play. But it kind of begs the question, if Ragnow doesn't play, like if you go to ourlads.com and go to the Lions depth chart, there's no backup center because Graham Glasgow's been starting at right guard and left guard with Jonah Jackson out. Right guard, he kind of won the job after Vaitai got hurt. But Graham Glasgow is basically your backup center. Remember, the Lions had like Ross Pierschbacher back in the day and some others that have been backup centers over the years. But Glasgow would start at center, I guess, if Ragnow can't play, which would then mean if Jonah Jackson's out, because he hasn't practiced either, you'd have Owoshika at left guard. You'd have Vaitai at right guard. I mean, it'd be pretty crazy to be missing, really three starters based on their spots going up against a Raider team that is desperate and, of course, has one of the best edge rushers in the game in Max Crosby. So keep an eye on that as far as injuries go. David Montgomery hasn't practiced. I don't think he's going to come back from this rib injury yet and play Monday. You have to remember, Lions have a bye next week. Giving Montgomery some extra rest is probably a good thing. And listen, the Lions aren't playing a good football team Monday night. The Lions should bounce back and win. They're the better team. They're angry. Aaron Glenn was wearing a t-shirt today that said salty on it. And they know what they have to do to get better and to win this football game Monday night against a Raider team that, yes, might have, and it looks like they will have Jimmy Garoppolo back, but that Raider offense is a mess, and we'll go over some keys coming up momentarily. I just saw this before I came on Chauncey Gardner Johnson's Instagram page. He's apparently changing his name to CD Deuce, Ceedy Deuce, Duce. He said court documents on the way, OTW. So Chauncey Gardner Johnson, who's been known as Deuce, he's Chauncey Gardner Johnson Jr., apparently is changing his name to CD Deuce. So if you got a Gardner Johnson jersey, number 2, next year, if the Lions bring him back, or even at the end of this year, if he comes back, the last name would be DUCE. To each his own, right? That's kind of crazy. By the way, if you missed yesterday's Locked On Lions and Locked On Raiders crossover with your boy Q, I like working with him. Seriously. People have asked me before, like, why don't you have a co-host on Locked On Lions? And like, I like doing the show myself. I think I can handle it. But I'll tell you one thing. If I ever needed a co-host, your boy Q, who hosts Locked On Raiders, he's on at night on ESPN Radio nationally, is really, really good. Reminds me of the old line from Alan in The Hangover when he was sitting in the front seat of the car reading the book. It says here we should work in teams. I would work in a team with that guy. Your boy Q is great. So if you missed yesterday's show, please go back and watch it or listen to it. Our Locked On Lions and Locked On Raiders crossover. Q knows the Raiders are bad. He's not picking them to win. He knows they're bad. All right, a news of the day. Let's start with this. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. I know I'm going to get hammered on my YouTube comments. By the way, follow us on Twitter at Derry Speaks, at Locked On Lions, Matt Derry Facebook fan page, Threads, The Real Matt Derry, and YouTube. I know what the commenters are going to say. Oh, here he goes again, ripping on J-Mo. Fine. These are the words of Benjamin S. Johnson. I made up the S part. Star offensive coordinator Ben Johnson of the Lions today, talking on coordinator. This used to be coordinator Thursday, but it was coordinator Friday today, whatever. Talking about Jameson Williams. Quote, some guys take longer than others to develop a rapport with, and we frankly aren't there yet. So we'll continue to work on it. It's going to come. And when it does come, I think we're all going to be pleased. Jameson Williams has played in 9 football games going back to last year. He has caught 5 passes for 96 yards and 2 touchdowns. Last week, the ball hit him in the face, and he dropped another one. He has a hard time locating the football right now. Ben Johnson saying, hey, got to be patient, but he's not exactly where we thought he would be. Well, of course not. This guy was a dominant wide receiver in college at Alabama, has the pedigree because he started at Ohio State. Of course, has had the torn ACL, the gambling suspension, all of these things, hamstring injury. All right. But Johnson admits today, we frankly aren't there yet. And I know for some Lions fans, you'll sit here and say, now, wait a minute. I watched the Vikings on Monday Night Football last week, and Jordan Addison, their rookie wide receiver, and J-Mo isn't a rookie, but technically, you know what I'm saying? This Jordan Addison's the real deal. Now, Quentin Johnston with the Chargers, he can't get on the field. He was also drafted in the first round, like J-Mo was. But again, this is his first season. This is Williams' technically second year. He, of course, missed a lot of time last year coming back from the torn ACL. Missed time this year due to the gambling suspension and the hamstring. But it's a concern. It really is. And now that Marvin Jones is officially gone, Lions actually worked out a TK, Tom Kennedy, this week. But they're riding with the receivers that they have right now, and they need J-Mo. You saw what the Ravens were starting to do defensively last week. They were inching up. They were taking the middle of the field and Amon-Ra away for a while and forcing Goff to have to look J-Mo's way deep. And there's times he's not even on the field. Antoine Green is on the field. So those are the words of Ben Johnson. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm with Ben. We should be all concerned. We should be seeing something here. Hopefully Monday night against the Raiders, we're seeing some more targets. We're seeing the ball caught in his hands. And we're seeing more than just one play a game from Jameson Williams. So I'm rooting for it. But Ben Johnson kind of reiterating what I think a lot of the fans are saying, which is, we're not seeing a lot of progress yet. It's coming. We need to be patient. But again, when you're in year 2 of the first round pick, all right. I know Hutchinson was taken before J-Mo, and J-Mo was traded up to get him, and whatever. But still, you know what I'm saying. All right. Locked On Lions brought to you by FanDuel. Hey, step into action this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. That's $200 in bonus bets win or lose. You've been thinking about joining FanDuel. No better time to get on the action now. World Series starting up this weekend. NBA started up. I think the Pistons are in Charlotte tonight. Wings are playing well right now. They don't need to get bigger on the blue line. They're doing great. What about mucking it up in the corners? The app is easy to use. Spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and kick off the NFL season. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL. And we're also here to tell you today about LinkedIn Jobs. Hey, these days, every new potential hire can feel like a high-stakes wager for your small business. You want to be 100% certain you've got access to the best qualified candidates available. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. I've been there. I posted jobs for free on LinkedIn Jobs, and it's great. You post your job. It's easy. Then you add that job, the purple hashtag hiring frame, hashtag hiring, to your LinkedIn profile to spread the word that you are hiring. They've got simple tools like screening questions that make it easy to focus on candidates with just the right skills that you want to talk to. That's why small businesses rate LinkedIn Jobs #1 in delivering quality hires versus leading competitors. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedonnfl. That's linkedin.com/lockedonnfl to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. All right, we are back on Locked On Lions. Hope everybody is doing well on this Friday. Again, this weather has been absolutely crazy and super nice today. So who knows how long it'll continue, but it's like 70 out there. It's like a spring day here on a Friday. All right, we're going to get you some keys to this Lions and Raiders game on Monday night. I do want to tell you that if you are driving, not right, well, you might be driving right now if you're listening, but if you are driving on 994, US 23, 696, 75, 275, check out the billboards. Yes, Locked On Lions billboards are a thing. They are out. I should have posted a picture, but I didn't. It's on my Twitter if you go to @DairySpeaks or X or whatever they're calling it. But check it out. Yes, there are Locked On Lions billboards. Thank you to the Locked On Podcast Network for making this commitment. Very, very cool that the billboards are up. And check them out. It says Locked On Lions on it and everything. So tell your friends about us and let's spread the word about what we do on this very podcast. We're getting close to 9,000 subscribers on YouTube. I think that's awesome. Thank you so much to all of you for checking us out. Thanks to Turner Batdorf and his dad and that whole crew. My wife and I are going to be joining them in their suite coming up Monday night for Lions and Raiders. Actually, over the weekend, I'm going to be heading to Colts Saints as well. So I'm taking in a couple of games coming up this weekend. So it should be awesome. All right. I want to get to keys in a second for the Lions to beat the Raiders. We will get to all of that. I got to bring this up. And my crack research staff, he knows who he is, sent me something. Right now, the Lions are 5-2, right? Lions are playing good football in first place. They're going to win the division. I truly believe that. But if there's one team that can creep up on them in this division, it's Minnesota. And this is, not because I think Minnesota is good. All right. But Minnesota's 3-4. And my crack research staff asked me, is there a chance that the Vikings could catch the Lions? And I said, no, they're not. Their defense isn't that great. I know Brian Flores, their D coordinator, did a really nice job Monday night in keeping the Niners at 17 points. The week before, the Vikings gave up just 13 to the Bears. And so they're playing decent football after, of course, week 2 when they gave up 34 to the Eagles. And so, but my crack research staff said, take a look at the Vikings schedule. It's just as easy as the Lions. And I looked at it and went, wait a minute. The Lions only play one more team, at least of right now, that is over 500. That's the Dallas Cowboys. The Vikings schedule, they only play 2 teams over 500, Cincinnati and the Lions. So this isn't, or it's 500 or better. Cincinnati is 3-3 at the moment. But so the Vikings schedule is also easy. Think about this for a second. The Lions, we know this, all right? Monday night against the Raiders, then the bye. Then they're going to play the Chargers. the Bears, the Packers, the Saints, the Bears again, Denver, Minnesota, Dallas, which will not be easy on the road on that Saturday night, and then Minnesota again. All right. Things are getting soft. I know the Charger game could be interesting. There's rumors I'm hearing of a flex possibility there for Sunday Night Football. It's possible in 2 weeks. But those aren't good teams. All right. They're not. Then you look at the Vikings and you go, all right, they're playing at Green Bay this Sunday. Green Bay's been terrible the last few weeks. Then they play at Atlanta. Lions handle the Falcons. All right. Desmond Ridder and company. Ooh, I'm scared. Then they host New Orleans. Minnesota plays at Denver. They're a dumpster fire. The Bears for Monday Night Football at home. At the Raiders. At the Bengals. The Lions, the Packers, and the Lions again on that's at Ford Field to end the season. The Vikings schedule is pretty soft, right? You don't see San Francisco on that schedule. Don't see Philly. Don't see Kansas City. Don't see Dallas. Baltimore. Pittsburgh. Miami. Nope. Minnesota's schedule, and especially if the next 2 weeks Kirk Cousins delivers like he did Monday night against Green Bay and Atlanta on the road. And then 2 of the next 3 at home against New Orleans, Chicago, and then at Denver. Yeah. I'm not worried. I'm not concerned. I'm not going to go, oh no, the Vikings are going to make some run. I don't think they have enough personnel on defense. I know their defensive coordinator, Brian Flores, has been doing a really good job. But while the Lions' schedule is Charmin, so's the Vikings. It really is. That is not a very difficult schedule at all. All right. Again, the one team over 500, let me correct myself from before. Atlanta's 4-3. The Lions are 5-2. And so it's Falcons and Lions are the only 2 teams above 500 that the Vikings will face the rest of the season. At least as of right now. All right. Saints are 3-4. Bengals are 3-3. We know the Green Bay Packers are 3-4 or 2-4. Vikings schedule is not difficult at all. So keep that in mind. Now, again, they've been without Justin Jefferson. Their running game with Alexander Mattison is not the same as when they had Dalvin Cook. And obviously, if you've been reading, Dalvin Cook is not happy with his playing time with the Jets. But that win on Monday night by the Vikings over the Niners surprised a lot of people, including me. And all of a sudden, Minnesota feels like winning 3 of their last 4, albeit 2 of those wins were against Carolina and the Bears. And that Bears win was ugly, only 19-13. But the Vikings now feel like they could maybe make a little bit of a run. If the Lions somehow stub their toe, which I don't think they'll do Monday night, they could be in this thing. It's not that I think the Vikings are anything special, nor do I think they would touch the Lions. I don't. But you know, Cousins is playing for a contract. If they get Justin Jefferson back healthy in a couple of weeks, Addison's been balling. They can hang around, is what I'm trying to say. All right, what are going to be some keys to the Lions' victory this coming Monday night against the Raiders? We will tell you that. We will do all of that coming up next. But I do have to tell you about our friends at PrizePicks. Daily fantasy that is so much fun. And you're not betting against thousands of other players or your friends or anything else or any of these sharks out there. You're betting against the projections. You pick more than or less than on 2 to 6 player stat projections on the weekend and watch the winnings roll in. Seriously. Lamar Jackson, more than or less than 2 touchdowns this weekend. Put some money down on it. We mentioned the Vikings before and Kirk Cousins and company at Green Bay. Maybe then Cousins is going to throw for over 250 yards or less than 250 yards. Whatever it is, all of that is fun, and you can do that picking 2 to 6 players at PrizePicks. Turn $10 into $250 with just a few taps. It is simple. All right? Go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnNFL and use the code LockedOnNFL for a first deposit match up to $100. It's prizepicks.com/LockedOnNFL. Use the code LockedOnNFL for a first deposit match up to $100. PrizePicks, daily fantasy sports made easy. And hey, the other day, and I'm being dead serious when I tell you this, the other day, my wife and I, it was like a Sunday morning, we were craving National Coney Island. And we didn't want to get out of bed. We did not want to get out of bed. All right. Games were starting, all this stuff. What do? We hit up DoorDash. All right. Game goes to a timeout. You got to order in with DoorDash. All right. Is it halftime? Order in with DoorDash. 2-minute warning, DoorDash. All right. Pizza, wings, soda, burgers, whatever you need from DoorDash, whatever spot you like, get it all delivered without missing the game. Kick back at kickoff with unbeatable deals and everything you need for your watch party or tailgate. Like I said before, I love National Coney Island. I could get the Hani special. I could get the breakfast burrito. All right. But I don't want to go there, and they don't deliver. But DoorDash delivers. That's what you do. Get 50% off up to a $10 value when you spend $15 or more on your first order. When you download the DoorDash app, enter code LOCKED23, LOCKED 23. Subject to change, terms apply. All right, I got a couple of keys for Lions and Raiders. Raider Nation coming in. Monday Night Football, the black hole, all of this stuff. Number one, what an atmosphere that's going to be. First Lions Monday night game since 2018. This is going to be awesome. All right. I'm not going to even remind you about the last time the Lions were on Monday Night Football, but regardless, all right, this is going to be great. Crowds into it. I read today, tickets are going for 100. The Lions are selling standing room tickets for $140. That's crazy. Crazy. Regardless, crowd's going to be into it. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think the Lions have got to get off to a fast start. And the one thing that I think is going to be a huge key in this game, and your boy Q mentioned it yesterday, you got two players with the Raiders right now that are frustrated by the offense. They're not getting enough targets, not getting enough touches. And that's Devontae Adams and Hunter Renfrow. Renfro's on the trade block. All right, a guy that maybe, who knows, if the Lions need a receiver. I know he's more of an Amon-Ra type in the slot, but regardless, this is a guy that's unhappy. All right, Jacoby Myers is getting a lot of touches. Their tight ends are getting touches. Devontae to an extent. They still got to run the ball with Josh Jacobs. Renfrow is the forgotten man. If early in this game the Lions take Renfrow and Devontae out, they're going to start complaining. They're going to start throwing their hands up. Crowd will sense this. There will be frustration on that Raiders sideline, and you can put them away. That's going to be a nice, big, fat key to this game. The other one is simple. We talked about it yesterday on the crossover. Blocking Max Crosby. If the Lions are reshuffling their offensive line and Jackson doesn't play and Ragnow doesn't play, you know they're going to loop Crosby around, play a little game, as Jim Brandstatter used to say, where the edge waits and goes around the tackle and tries to go up the middle on Goff. The Lions have got to pick that up. Number 98 for the Raiders is nasty. Pride of Eastern Michigan is really, really good. Max Crosby with 2 X's. Should just get to the quarterback. Is relentless. Got a motor similar to Aiden Hutchinson. So that's a key to this game, is keeping him quiet. All right. Last weekend was the first time we've seen in a while Jared Goff out of his rhythm. Ravens pass rush did a good job. And those are just a couple of keys that I say. I don't see this being a close game. I don't. I think the Lions are a superior team. They're mad. They're upset after what happened last week. And they know, go into the bye at 6-2, get some healthy players back. Jerry Jacobs is going to be back this week, so that's big. That was a big loss last week. I think the Lions win. I think the Lions win big. I do. I think it'll be a lot of fun down at Ford Field on Monday night. All right, everybody have a great weekend. Be safe, all right? I don't know my schedule yet. I don't know if I'm going to be doing another show before this one. We're going to definitely do a post-game pod Monday after I get home, so it'll be late night Monday night into Tuesday morning. But thanks for making us your first listen. Thanks to our everydayers that are out there and everybody that supports the show. Check out the billboards. If you see them around town, let me know where you saw them. Don't take pictures while you drive. Have your passenger do it. And we'll talk to you again Monday night for Lions and Raiders. All right, everybody. Have a great rest of your weekend.